Hi friends! Welcome to today's lesson. Today we are going to do some exploring with paint again and colors, specifically tints and shades. Now think for a moment, do you know what a tint or a shade is? Well, a tint is when we take a regular color from the rainbow, any of the primary or secondary colors or variations thereon, and we add white to that color, and that is called a tint. Now a shade is when we take that same color and then add black to it to make it darker, and that's called a shade. So today we're going to experiment with that and practice that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for this. So I'm going to tell you what to get before we get started. First you need paper to paint on. Again, I'm using thicker paper because we're going to end up using a lot of paint, but you can use any white paper you have because that lets you see what colors you're using really clearly. Okay, next we have, of course, our jar of water to rinse our brushes, our paper towel for dabbing our brush after we rinse it, and our palette. Now you only need 3 colors for this. I have blue, because that's my favorite color. And then you need lots of white and black paint. Okay? And then, of course, brushes. All right. Now, I tried making one with just one brush, and I had to do a lot of rinsing in between my mixing. So I have 3 brushes. I'm going to give it a try. We'll see if it works. It's a little bit of an experiment. But the very first thing we're going to do is take our original color and we're going to paint a line right down the middle. Are you ready? Okay. There's my blue. This is to let us see what the color looks like originally before we add any white or black to it. It's our base color. Oh, one thing not to forget, and I forgot to mention it. I am definitely using a placemat to paint on. As you can see, I've gone over the edges already, and I don't want to get that on my tablecloth. So make sure you're in a safe place to do your painting. Okay. So there's my blue, my stripe of blue, and that's my beginning color. All right, here's how we're going to go. So now I'm going to take my blue again, and I'm going to paint another stripe right next to that of blue. Okay. Okay. See, I put another stripe of blue right there. Now I'm going to add white. I'm going to add 2 big dabs of it. Now I grabbed a different brush. I'm going to see if this helps. So I'm going to dab my white on there. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to get some more white. Another dab of white. And then I'm going to go back and forth on the paper and mix that in. Let's see what happens. And go over it quite a few times so you can get the blue and the white to mix together really well. There we go. Now, can you see what's happened? Is this blue different from my original blue? It is. It's lighter, isn't it? Because I added white to it. And that's a tint. So I'm going to rinse that brush. Now we're going to make a shade. I'm going to set that brush aside. I'm going to pick up my blue brush again and get some more blue and make another stripe on this side. Okay. All right. So now that I have some more blue on this side, I'm going to get my third brush and I'm going to get a little bit of black. I don't need a lot. Black is very strong. So I'm just going to get a little bit. Start with a little. You can always add more, but you can't take it away once you mix it in. Okay, just a little bit. And I'm going to put that on this stripe. Yeah. See, I got a little bit too much black, and also this brush is not a very good brush, but you can still see what's happening. Can you see that? I'm going to put a little bit more blue on there because I want you to really be able to see what the shade looks like when it's evenly mixed with black. It's really pretty, and that brush is just not a good brush. Oh, there we go. That's better. Yeah, see, this brush is a lot better quality than this one I was using. See how it's kind of fan shaped? Can you see that? And it's really thin. And this one's a nice thick brush. That helps. But look what happened. Once I got a really nice brush, you see that? So here's my original color, blue. Here's a tint where I added white, and here's a shade where I added black. And you see this is still blue, but it's definitely darker. You can see those black tones coming through. And this is still blue, but it's definitely lighter. Isn't that cool? All right, we're gonna do it one more time. We're gonna get really intense with it, okay? So I'm gonna rinse off my blue brush since I used that to mix my shade. I'm going to get my blue. I'm going to paint a stripe over here on my tint side. All right. And then I'm going to get my brush I used for my white. I'm going to get big dab of white, and then another big dab of white, and then another one. And then I'm going to mix those in and see what happens. Really get it mixed in there so you can see what happens when you mix all that white with blue and how it changes it. Can you see that? It's even lighter. It's still blue, but it's so light. It's a very light tint of blue. Isn't that cool? All right, now let's do a really dark shade. I'm going to rinse off my white brush before I set it aside. Okay, so I'm going to use my blue brush first. I'll get a nice stripe of blue. Okay. See, I'm starting with a nice stripe of blue. Okay. Make sure I'm going to put a little bit more blue there. just to make it nice and strong. Okay, and now my black. Are you ready? Okay. Now go ahead and dip it in. I'm going to use a little bit more than I did last time, and I'm going to use my nice brush so it mixes really well. It's that really deep, dark shade of blue. Yeah, and I think I'm going to put a little bit more black. Are you ready? Ooh. There we go. Kind of looks like the night sky. That's cool. There we go. Are you ready to see it? There it is. How cool is that? And so we have our lightest tint of blue all the way to our darkest shade of blue. And all I needed for that was 3 colors of paint. Now I made another version earlier where I did even smaller increments when I was practicing. And you can see this one goes from really, really light blue to really, really dark shade of blue. But there's more increments. I'm going by smaller increments. So you can kind of practice and experiment with, well, if I only add the tiniest bit of white, what tint will it be? And if I add only the tiniest bit of black, what shade will it be? And this is something you can do with any of the colors of the rainbow. So it's a really fun painting experiment, learning about tints and shades. All right, my friends, I'm excited to see what you do with this. It's kind of like an experiment with art. I hope you enjoy, and I also hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you later. Bye.